Nice.
So hello and welcome to the PT Central podcast, Getting Real with Jazz and Nick. And today we're also with Gerald for podcast number 12. So Gerald, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do as a personal trainer.
Yeah, I've been a personal trainer now since about 2006, and I've been a personal training manager, and at the moment I'm working with clients in the City of London. I go to people's offices, local parks, and I train them there. And I've been doing it for a long time. I still love what I do. Still have the same passion as when I started. So really happy to be on you guys' show.
Yeah, we're happy to have you. So today we're really going to get some really insightful knowledge for our listeners about digital marketing, like online marketing for your personal training business. Would you agree that sometimes marketing can be the hardest thing, and doing it and getting new people into the doors, and then also having to retain those clients? So yeah, anything to add on that? Anyone?
You know what, you've hit the nail right in the head. We like to help people, and we don't necessarily think to ourselves initially it's quite uncomfortable actually going out there and selling yourselves, and going out and meeting business owners and cold calling people and doing the dirty work. I mean, we just like to train people.
Yeah.
It's more than that. It's bigger than that, and you have to embrace marketing.
Yeah, definitely. So tell us more about how we should go about our online marketing to get really good results and to get those people into the doors.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people nowadays are using search and search engine optimization, with your website. It's a difficult thing because Google, they always change the posts, the goalposts, and the truth is no one really knows what Google are looking for. They keep you guessing. They do it on purpose. However, the rewards are big. I mean, if you're top 3, you're going to get loads of leads. People are always going to find you, because the way search works is that 80% of the traffic will go to the person in that first position, and then we're looking at about 60% for the top 3. So you need to be dominating in search, and when you're there, the rewards are really high. But getting there takes a lot of strategy, it takes a lot of thought, it takes a lot of knowledge, and you have to do so many aspects: social media, blogging. It's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
But I say it's extremely rewarding if you do it correct and you're in those top 3 positions. Because people, unless the top 3 positions do not answer the question that the search is looking for, they're not going to go below that top 3.
Yeah.
That's where you need to be.
How can someone make their way to the top 3? Do you think would be the best ways of going about it?
Right. Okay. I mean, there's a few criteria that Google look for. Traffic. In fact, there's a lot of criteria as well. I think the easiest way to do it is to basically really go out there and put out good content. One thing, I think one guaranteed thing that works really well is to do blogging and to go out there and contact other blog owners. And again, you want blog owners who have got real good following and real good stature in the eyes of Google. Because it's a bit like, you can kind of think of it as personal trainer. Let's say we got an endorsement from Madonna. Madonna said, Gerald Smith, that is the best personal trainer. I mean, how much traffic would you get? And Google, they give way in a similar way. If you have a link from a blog or a company of great magnitude in the eyes of Google, again, it's going to carry that same weight as a good as an endorsement from a celebrity, if you like.
Right.
So
that's a good way to put it.
So the better quality of the links that you're generating, the more Google are going to move you up, because they're going to look and say, hold on a second, this guy, he knows this person, he's associated with that person.
Wow.
This guy is the personal trainer in London that, if someone's in a search, this is the guy we should prioritize. So it's a number of things you have to do. Blogging is one of them. It's really good.
And how can people get links back from other bloggers or other people to their website or their blog?
Yeah, great question. And there's a lot of strategies which people don't want to share. I'm actually working on something at the moment, and it's going back to that process we're talking about with the following of people. So I'm doing a blog post where I'm actually going to try to leverage the power of everyone's social network. So normally, you try to approach someone and say, "How can I get in your blog?" And they probably ignore you. But you can reverse that process. So you can actually go to a blogger and say, I'm actually writing a blog post, and it's going to be on, I don't know, the best 3 exercises. If you could only do 3 exercises to lose weight, what would they be? So you'd ask that question to maybe 100 of the top bloggers. And then what would happen is that once this is written, you say to these bloggers, right, okay, I've written it, you're in this post, can you share it with your social network? Hopefully it's going to get you some following.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the same thing. And what will happen is that you've got, now if you get 20 bloggers, you've now got 20 bloggers who are sort of advertising for you.
Yeah,
that's so smart.
Promoting your post. So, and if they've got really good big communities, you could potentially have an exposure to over 100,000 people just from that one blog post. And, so that's one strategy that could really, really work. And also as well, once you've actually made that contact with those guys and they've sort of seen the work you've done and so on, maybe then you approach that person and say, can I have a blog post? Because you've built a relationship as well. So it can lead to other opportunities.
That's true.
So,
yeah.
A strategy.
And then I guess you build up a bit more of a respected name as well, the more people see your name around on different blog posts and that, for other bloggers to want to publish your stuff on their blogs. So
yeah, precisely.
Yeah.
The word gets out, people see your writing and they know who you are. So yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And have you also featured, I saw on your website, in some health magazines?
Yes, definitely. That was again, that was a different strategy. It's kind of you sort of have to make it if you like, or it's not really faking it, but you have to use a lot of confidence. So you're cold calling these reporters. But what you have to understand is that online publications is changing now. So offline publications changing. You've got more things coming online, and it's a lot more competitive. So a lot of publications are looking for freelance journalists to come on board and to sort of help them out and come with some fresh ideas. So that's initially what I did. So I came up. I researched the magazine and I'd look and see what they're into, and I try and find an angle. And I pretty much approach these journalists and I would say, right, okay, I've got this particular idea for an article, and there's a way you have to write it for these guys because they want to see. You have to sell them the whole thing.
Yeah.
You can't just like be very vague and let them imagine it. You have to give them the whole thing. So you tell them, you give them the title. It's all in the title, by the way. So you give them the title, you give them a little introduction, you give them some bullet points. So are the glutes a new core? We're looking at X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. You write that out for them, and then based on the strength of that pitch, they either decide it's something that they want or not, basically. So that's how I got into writing for magazines. So I sort of off my own back, I took that initiative and called. And it's better to call because it's a bit more personal.
Good on ya. Yeah. Same with your client follow-ups. Way much better to call than just to send a text or an email. So yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and then after that you send that email, but it's a lot of chasing up because these guys are very, very busy. So once you send the initial pitch, they have a look at it. You got to follow up 2 weeks later, and they probably won't have a look at it, but then they eventually look at it, they like the idea, then they commission you. They say, right, okay, that's it. I like this. I want to get this in our magazine. This is how much we're going to pay you.
Awesome.
And then it's done. So it's pretty cool. First time I still have the magazines now on my bookshelf. The first one's always the one, and then once you have a few, the novelty wears off. But it's still it's still a great feeling to sort of get in print and to show it to your girlfriend and show it to your friends.
Yeah.
That's really good. It's really cool.
So the process for that then obviously is having, you know, something worthwhile to write about in the first place.
Good content.
Good content. And then would you call them first or email them first and then call them? Like, what would your process be?
No, definitely make the first contact by phone, and
Okay.
you know,
Good.
they're not that. I mean, if they're on deadline, they're not going to really talk to you, you know, because they got a date before whatever comes out, sort of thing. So they're quite polite. They're like, oh, look, I'm on deadline. Can you call me tomorrow? Blah blah blah. But yeah, you got to be quite persistent. Persistence is the key. You guys know yourself, if anything.
Yes.
You've got to show that seriousness as well to really get on these people's radar, if you like. So so call first, be seen as being approachable and friendly, and build that trust. Then you can email them with the idea. They'll look it over and they'll take their time and they'll make a decision. But the key thing is obviously researching. So if I was going to approach, let's say you guys, for this kind of business blog, I would actually look and see, okay, what have they done before? And what can really add value to their listeners and to what they're doing. What kind of topic hasn't been covered, or what kind of different angle can we approach in terms of how we're actually going to look at business marketing for personal trainers. So, you know, it's always a case of looking at that publication and thinking, right, okay, where's the gap and what can I do? What can I offer them? You know, you always think it's not a case of what do I get out of this? What can I do for them? That's always got to be your first thought.
Yeah.
And again, you know, if that's how you generally think, if it's genuine and sincere, I think people can see that, and I think people will really buy into that. So that's always my first thought. What can I do for you? How can I add value to what you do?
Yep. So back to the online marketing. Is there any other advice you have for personal trainers trying to get new leads and advertise online?
Yeah, I mean sometimes as well. Like I guess to someone that doesn't know anything about internet marketing and you know, they've just got their website and they're thinking, wow, what should I do? There's also something called Google AdWords, which is where you can actually pay to actually have your website listed. And initially, this may be the best way forward because it can take a few months to get listed in search. So Google AdWords, social media can be quite important, can be quite a good way to. It's important, social media, because Google will also look at these things. They'll look at your social signals.
Yeah.
They'll see you sharing your content and so on. So these things are really important. But the key things are to be really consistent. I think it really starts from your blog, and then you want to try and actually build up a newsletter as well.
Yes.
To also be selling your service as well. But the strongest thing you can do, I would really say, I mean, it's going to be a blog because people are going to link back to that. So yeah.
Cool.
And the more content obviously you have in your blog, the more chance you've got of coming up in Google when people are searching for certain things, right?
Exactly, and as well, I think with your internet marketing, you have to try and think about how someone who's searching will think. So I don't know. Let's say, for instance, I'm getting married, and I kind of think to myself, right, okay, I want to find a photographer, but I'd even break it down a little bit more deeper. I'd think I want a wedding photographer. I don't just want a photographer that does events, does this, does that. I want someone I want a specialist. You know, this is my big day kind of thing. But secondly, as well, I think you know, when you look at a lot of websites, I think we get too carried away in our qualifications. We've done this, we've done that, and people just don't care.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they've got a problem, and all I want to know is who is that person who's going to actually fix that problem. So if you're going to make content, you have to think of it from their point of view. Who is your audience, and what is it exactly? What is the problem that you're going to be able to solve for your audience? So, you know, it may be a case of you're going to make content saying, this is how to do a press up. It might sound really basic, but if that is something that your audience wants, then you want to be creating content about how to do a press up.
Yeah.
You know, that's how someone's going to search how to do a press up. Gerald Smith, oh there he is. Let me have a look at this. 10 tips to lose weight. Oh, Gerald Smith's got an article on that. So this is how you create your content. You kind of work backwards. This is my audience. This is what they want. They want to lose weight. They want to get fit fast. They want to do this. They want to do that. I'm making content for these guys, and I'm going to position it out there. And so that's a way to get traffic back to your site, and hopefully when they come to your site, they're going to think, oh wow, this guy's really knowledgeable. This guy's got some really good content. I really like what he's doing. And you know, you're going to build that trust, that credibility, and hopefully be that go-to guy that when they're ready to make that buying decision, they think, this is the guy. You know, I've been following his content for a while. I really trust this person. He's written for magazines, he's done this, he's done whatever. I'm going to him.
Cool.
So you're the expert just because what you know, not because of what you've been educated in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and because that's what, you know, if you think about anything that you bought online, and you didn't particularly look for a particular name, you know, sometimes you do. Obviously, it's a really big brand, but sometimes with some things, you know, like I don't know the difference between a good photographer or a bad one. I don't know the difference between a good builder or a bad one. So when I'm going online and I'm searching, I just want to know, you know, my boiler's broken. He's the best guy to go to. You know, I'm going to be looking through and I'm going to be trying to, like, you know, thinking, wow, how many boilers has this guy fixed? And you know, I'm going to be thinking like that. So, you know, your personal training website's got to reflect that. You know, how many people has this trainer helped? Where are the testimonials? What does he specialise in? Oh, he specialises in fat burners. Okay, so how do you go about doing that? And how many people have you actually helped burn fat? Blah 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 blah. And you sort of work backwards from that. Yeah,
because it's pretty competitive fields out there now with so many personal trainers and gyms popping up, which is great to see because we all have the same goal of helping people in the world become healthier and happier. But at the end of the day, it can be quite competitive if you're not on top of the ball.
Yeah, too right, exactly. And I think for any city, you type in personal trainer, whatever, personal trainer in Melbourne, personal trainer in New York, you know, there's thousands of sites and you're trying to be number 1, number 2, number 3 out of 1,000 people, so you've pretty much be on point.
Because you're based in London, so I can assume that would be very competitive. What's it like there?
Oh yeah. I mean, I tend to come up for like the smaller locations within London to come up for personal trainer London. Oh my god. That'd be really tough. Really. I've gone to the first page before, but you know, for some of even some of the smaller searches, there's some good traffic for them. There's some, and obviously, being a big city, there's some very lucrative locations. Just, you know, personal trainer Kensington and loads of others. So So a lot to very competitive.
Yeah, and you got to stay on top of it. Like you said, Google's always changing their goalposts. So
You feel your toes, but you know, I mean, they're very vague with what Google say is that create awesome content. I mean, it's very vague, but you have to then interpret what does that mean. You know, a lot of these other SEO experts, when you listen to what they're saying, and you look at the people who are at the top, you generally see their content's good, social media presence is very good, and they're consistent. As long as you're consistent with what you're doing, if you do it for 3-4 weeks, you get a bit bored, or you kind of fall down. So you've got to try and stay ahead of the pack.
So is there any resources or online websites or Facebook pages you could recommend, like for people who would be a good source of information in regards to the online marketing type of business?
Yeah, I mean, when I was starting out and I was learning, a really good company was JM Internet Group, but of recent times I've learned a lot from, have you guys heard of Udemy.com?
No.
That's
the app. I just actually got that the other day. I was like, that doesn't sound familiar, but it does now.
It's a really good place to learn how to market, how to do every single aspect, and then over a period of time, you sort of connect the dots between YouTube, because it's a lot. You've got YouTube, you've got Twitter, you've got Google
Yeah.
Plus, your
Facebook.
blogging platforms, and so on. Obviously, what we're doing as well today, we're on a podcast. Podcasting again is a great way. Google like to see communities. They like to see someone, because they look at it and they say, right, okay, this person's got X amount of people who tweet his stuff and share his stuff and follow him on this platform, and they kind of look at that and say, this guy must be a thought leader. This person is doing something really well, because a lot of people like what he's doing. So I find that Udemy can really make it really easy, and you can look at specific aspects of blogging, social media, sort of unify all of it together into one coherent system. It's going to get you results and going to build, going to get you up to search rankings.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right, and if people want to like have a look at you and what you do, like where would they find you online?
Right, okay, so you can look at my website. It's personal trainer, cityoflondon.co.uk, and I've got a blog, YouTube channels, and Twitter. So if you go to that website, you'll see everything which I've got. You'll be able to see the links at the top to my various different platforms. And,
We'll also leave the link to Gerald's website in the description of this video and podcast too. So yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And if you had one thing you'd like to tell a personal trainer just starting out, just to give them a little bit of boost, a little bit of help, what would you say to them?
I would say learn the business side, because now you've learned the education, you know how to do a squat, you know some stuff about sets and repetitions. Learn the business side, focus on that. Try and put as much energy and dedication into your marketing as you would your education of the physical, if you like. Learn to market, not just online, offline as well. Go out there, build relationships with local business owners. Learn to market. Marketing.
Yes.
Because if you haven't got clients coming through the door, you've got no one to train.
Yeah.
And you need to be successful, because the more successful you are, the more people you're helping.
That's right, definitely.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Gerald. And Gerald might also do another video podcast with us later on too. So keep listening in. So yeah. Anything else to add before we head off?
No, just thank you very much for your time, and yeah, it's exciting talking to you, and hope to have you back very soon.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a great day. See ya.
Bye.